The opening ceremony at the Olympics be like.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
Boxing at the Olympics be like. The Olympics be like.
Hell yeah! I won! I'm a strong woman!
Believe it or not, that was a pretty accurate representation of the 2024 Olympics. I mean, for real. Who needs South Park when real life is this ridiculous? Hello everyone, if you're a new viewer, welcome. If you're a returning viewer, welcome back. If this is your second, third, fourth time watching one of my videos and you're not yet subscribed, we already go together. Okay, make it official and hit that subscribe button. And for those of you who have hit that subscribe button, I just want to say thank you. I finally got my plaque for passing 100,000 subscribers. I'm almost at 200,000. So thank you guys so much. Yeah, I just wanted to say thank you. But this video is not about me. This video is about the crazy ass 2024 Paris Olympics. By now, I think we have all seen the opening ceremony at the Olympics, which featured a bunch of drag queens mocking the painting of Jesus in the Last Supper. And if you haven't seen it, well, you can't watch it on YouTube anymore because they have blocked it in most countries. They have tried their best to take it off of social media, but it has been reposted everywhere. We have all seen it, and most importantly, God has seen it. Did you know the day after the opening ceremony in Paris, there was a power outage in Paris? Some call it coincidence, I call it God. The opening ceremony not only featured the drag queens mocking the Last Supper with a child stuck in there for additional shock value, but it also featured other questionable imagery, like a bunch of women with their heads cut off singing from the window of a building with fire shooting out in front of it, or the woman riding a white horse, which many people interpreted as the pale horse from the book of Revelation. Quote, "And I looked, and behold a pale horse, and his name that sat on him was Death, and hell followed with him, and power was given unto them over the fourth part of the earth, to kill with sword, and with hunger, and with death, and with the beasts of the earth." The ceremony also featured Celine Dion, who, in case you didn't know, has a gender-neutral clothing line for children that features heartwarming messages on them, like New Order. She forgot to put the word world, but we know what she meant. Oh, and Snoop Dogg even made an appearance at the Olympics wearing a chain with a Baphomet on it. He wants to gaslight us and tell us it was just a regular goat. No, sir, you are wearing a Baphomet chain. And for those of you who do not know, Baphomet is a transgender demon that is worshipped by occultists and the Freemasons. What in the Illuminati is going on here? In my opinion, the Olympics performed a ritual that was broadcasted live to the masses, and it's not the first time the Olympics has done some weird shit like this. Just look at the opening ceremony of the 2012 Olympics that took place in London.
Scary demons spreading like a virus. Zombie-like healthcare workers. Terrified children. Death. Why show the NHS? Why all the subliminal messages during the closing ceremony about anger, death, rage, and the end of the world? Can anybody please explain to us what any of this has to do with sports? With the Olympic Games? Who could have known back then that their so-called artistic show was actually an appalling glimpse into our future?
And people will still say that predictive programming isn't real. You know, it is interesting that they have no issues showing such dark and demonic imagery in their ceremonies, but when one of the competitors had a surfboard with Jesus on it, they banned him from using it. They claimed that they have strict rules and they focus on neutrality. Yeah, okay. All of that is a lot of controversy, but there's even more BS that went down at the Olympics. Just take a look at this clip. They are booing this guy, Dutch volleyball player Steven van de Velde. Steven was allowed to represent his country at the Olympics despite being convicted of a 12-year-old girl.
Guy comes out and they start booing him, and I'm like, oh, he must be a bat, like, I don't know, just like one of the villains of it. And then I look him up. He's a convicted child rapist, and they're still letting him play in the Olympics. And he raped a 12-year-old girl. He admitted it on the stand. He fully went to prison for a year, got tried for 4 years, convicted child rapist, and they're letting him play in the Olympics. They're giving him special treatment where he doesn't have to stay with any of the other athletes, and he doesn't have to do any press after. So they bring him in a secret door, let him play, and then they take him out, and then he continues to get to play. And on trial, he goes on stand and says, yes, I did it. I booked a flight that morning, and I left that afternoon. I had sex with her. Then I came back, and it was just a really bad decision that I made in my life. I was a stupid teenager. He was 19. She was 12.
The Olympics are such a joke. The most recent controversy to come out of the Olympics is their decision to allow 2 biological males to compete in women's boxing. There is Lin Yuting of Taiwan and Aman Khalif of Algeria. So to give a bit of background about the 2 boxers, back in March of 2023, the 2 boxers intended to compete at the Women's World Boxing Championship in New Delhi, India. However, the president of the International Boxing Association announced the disqualification of multiple boxers from the championship, including Lin Yuting and Aman Khalif. After a series of DNA tests, the International Boxing Association said they uncovered, quote, athletes who were trying to fool their colleagues and pretend to be women. The president stated that these athletes had XY chromosomes, and that was the reason why they were disqualified from competing. Fast forward to the 2024 Olympics, and they are allowed to compete because the Olympics doesn't hold the athletes to the same standards as the International Boxing Association. Lin Yuting fought Satora Turbekova from Uzbekistan in the women's boxing category, and Lin Yuting won, so he will go on to fight another female in the women's boxing category. Aman Khalif faced off against Angela Carini from Italy, and the match only lasted 46 seconds. Seeing her cry like that, it genuinely broke my heart. I can only imagine how hard she had to work just to make it to the Olympics, and she expects to go in there and fight another woman and win her way to a medal fair and square. But what happened was she got into the ring, and because of this whole woke ideology that has taken over the Olympics, she now has to fight a man, a biological male. That is not a fair fight. And because she was afraid for her safety, she made the tough decision to abandon the fight. So Aman Khalif won by default because she abandoned the fight. In an interview after the fight, she said this, quote, I'm used to suffering. I've never taken a punch like that. It's impossible to continue. I didn't give up, but the punch hurt too much, so I said enough. I'm leaving with my head held high. So I had just finished filming this video, and I came across an article from the BBC. I want to apologize to Khalif, Italian boxer Carini. So Angela Carini is apologizing for forfeiting the fight and for not shaking Aman Khalif's hand. All this controversy makes me sad. I'm sorry for my opponent too. If the IOC said she can fight, I respect that decision. Carini, also 25, said abandoning the fight had been a mature step to take, but she expressed regret and not shaking hands with Khalif afterwards. It wasn't something I intended to do, Carini said. Actually, I want to apologize to her and everyone else. I was angry because my Olympics had gone up in smoke. She added that if she met Khalif again, she would embrace her. So basically, the woke police at the Olympics reached out to Angela and told her to apologize. I don't know that for sure. I'm speculating. That's what it sounds like. The Algerian boxer was born female, was registered female, lived as female, boxed as a female, has a female passport, IOC spokesperson Mark Adams said on Friday. I take issue with this. First of all, I don't think it is bad sportsmanship for Angela to apologize for not shaking Aman's hand. If Angela feels bad about that, okay, fine. But the decision that the IOC has made to allow someone with XY chromosomes with elevated testosterone levels to compete in the women's category, it's wrong. And if we are going to classify someone as female based on what is registered on their birth certificate and on their passport, then it's meaningless, because there are countries such as Australia, where you are allowed to change the registration on your birth certificate and on your passport. So someone who is a biological male, was born a male, somewhere they could have gone through male puberty, they could be 45 years old, and they decide that if they want to be a female, they can actually go and have documents, their birth certificate and their passport, changed to say that they are female. And on paper, since the beginning of time, you will have been a female. It's happening right now in Australia. It is a thing. And I don't know what other countries it's happening in, but I'm sure this is going to become the new norm since we are moving down the path of wokeology. And in the next 10-15 years, you're gonna have a bunch of men with passports that say female, looking like this, showing up to fight women. Is this the future you guys want?
You're the reason this species is a failure, and it makes me angry.
This picture, which people say is Iman Khalif in childhood, has circulated around the internet. Plus, there's the fact that Iman is a Muslim from Algeria, and people are making the argument that transgenderism wouldn't be tolerated where Iman is from. In my opinion, it appears that Iman is a male with a sex development disorder, and that is probably why Iman's parents raised him like a little girl. He most likely doesn't have properly formed external male genitalia, and so when he was young, they believed he was female and raised him as such. But since Iman does have XY chromosomes and has tested for high levels of testosterone, Iman is likely a male with testes inside of his abdomen that have not descended. This is my speculation, I don't know for sure, but a male with sex development disorder is still a male and should still compete with other males because they do have the advantage of a male body that went through male puberty. And let's be clear, like, Iman has all of these secondary sex characteristics of a male. I mean, Iman sounds like a male.
1, 2, 3. Viva l'Algérie. Viva l'Algérie.
Iman has the facial bone structure of a male. Iman is flat-chested. Iman has no hips or curves that you would typically see on a woman. Iman has a fairly pronounced Adam's apple, and when you go through Iman's social media, he never even tries to pass as a woman. And this is slightly off topic, but I also believe the WNBA player Brittany Griner is also a biological male. Everything that I said about Iman is also true for Brittany. Brittany has one of the deepest voices I have ever heard on any human being, let alone a woman.
You're about to be a mom. How is that feeling? Pops. Oh, let me get it together. About to be a pops. Please tell me how exciting that is for you and what you're looking forward to most.
I'm super excited. Well, I mean, I guess I'll just drop it. He's here. So he's here. Yes. 7, 8, 24. Yeah, 7 pounds, 8 ounces. Yeah, that's my man.
Brittany has a pretty pronounced Adam's apple. Brittany has never developed breasts and is completely flat-chested. Brittany is unusually tall for a woman, and Brittany has no hips, no lady bumps to speak of. I think there is enough circumstantial evidence for any reasonable person to conclude that Brittany Griner is also a biological male. I wonder if Putin knows the truth. I got a little bit off topic, but I wanted to say that as of the making of this video, the Olympics are not yet over, and they are supporting Iman and Lynn, and these two players, these two athletes, are still due to fight female opponents in the upcoming days, and I am very curious to see what the outcomes of those fights will be. Anyways, that's all I have for this video. I will be doing a follow-up to my last video on Trump. A lot more information has come out, and I have caught a lot of people in lies, including the Butler police and Christopher Wray, the FBI director. So that video will be dropping sometime next week. But if you liked this video, please don't forget to hit the like button because it does help me in the algorithm. If you're not yet subscribed, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Thank you to all of you who are supporting me on Patreon. I appreciate your financial support so much. It really means a lot to me. If you'd like to support me on Patreon, my links will be in the description box down below. If you liked this video and you would like to see more like it, I will have 2 more videos for you in the end cards. I will see you guys in the next one. Take care. Bye.